This video is for the bullpen workers. You have honestly the most fun yet chaotic job, and one of the most important ones because it's your job to get all of our 10 and unders to the blocks in time for their events. It's a lot at first if you're new, but once you get the hang of it, it's a great way to get to know the kids better and other parents on the team. Right, so let's say that I was assigned or I signed up for the boys 7-8s. We have bullpens for all of our 10 and unders grouped between genders, and then 6 and unders, 7 and 8s, and 9 and 10s. So if I'm the 7-8 boys, when it's time for me to check in for the meet, I will find our bullpens, which are really easy to find. At home meets, it's under the pavilion, and at away meets, it changes locations, but we always have our tents put up and also signs that say Shakerag, the age group, and then there's also a sign that says bullpen check-in. So find the bullpen check-in, the bullpen coordinator will be there, you'll check in with them, get a name tag, and then for each of the bullpens, we have 2 aprons. Now, some bullpens are quite large, so you'll have like 3 to 4 volunteers, so only 2 get the aprons. Whoever gets there first gets it. If you don't want to wear the apron, that's okay too. Just make sure you wear your name tag so everyone knows that you're a bullpen worker. I will say this about the aprons, we've had them for years and years and years, so by the time you watch this video, the team may have shifted to something different, but just to let you know that that's why we have them in this video. But hopefully you'll always have a name tag signifying that you are a bullpen worker. All right, so let's say I'm a 7-8 boy person. I'm gonna put on my apron here, and then you will also be handed a handy dandy heat sheet. I'll have a heat sheet up on the screen in just a moment to go over in detail. When you're all set up, you got your apron on, if you choose to have the apron. What's nice is that you can roll this lovely heat sheet up, stick it in the pocket. I always recommend that bullpen workers have pockets in their shorts or their pants, because you'll also maybe need a Sharpie to help write events if the kids don't have them written on ahead of time. But hopefully our parents have already done that for them, and also their name on their back. Swimmers all look the same when they've got swim caps and goggles on. So if we have their names written on the back, that helps immensely trying to find them among all of the chaos and all of the kids. As a bullpen worker, you need to know what event is in the water, because you need to line up and put your swimmers on deck anywhere between 5 to 7 events before they swim. We always have them way early on the deck because we don't want anyone to miss their events. There are 3 different ways for you to know what event is swimming in the water. The first one is to listen and see if you can hear the announcer. Home meets, we have a great system. You should be able to hear the announcer. Away meets, it's always a toss-up if you're able to hear it. The announcer is saying who's in the water, who's next, and who should already be making their way to the deck. Second way is the actual event heat sign. At our home meets, we have a lifeguard that's facing the bullpen that should be doing, but we try to do our best to keep it up there, and they're just turning the numbers to let you know what is swimming in the water currently. Third way is your phone. Pull out the Swimtopia app, and we have a live bar indicator. It's orange along the top of the screen. Home meets, we always offer that. We have a meet person that's doing that job. Away meet, most of the time they don't. If we have someone who is available to do it there, we try to do it, but we have to ask the hosting team if they're okay with us doing that. So don't count on it on away meets. We try. Okay, so anyway, you need to know what's swimming in the water so you know when to line up your kiddos for the next event.
Each bullpen heat sheet is specific to Shakerag only, what gender and what age group you are working. This is showing Shakerag boys 7-8. You'll notice right away we have some things highlighted. Anything that's highlighted is a swimmer that needs to enter into the shallow end, not the deep end where the swim blocks are. The next video will go over how to line up your swimmers in the correct way to get them to the correct entry. For now, let's just look at the rest of the heat sheet. Top left is medley relay order. That is to help you remember and the swimmers remember which stroke they are swimming in. Medley relay. If you have 6 and unders, they don't swim the medley relay. They only do freestyle relay, which means they all do freestyle stroke. For medley relay order, look at the top left and notice swimmer number 1 swims the back stroke, swimmer 2, breaststroke, number 3, fly, which is butterfly, and 4 is freestyle. Look at heat 1, lane 1. We've got Matthew, swimmer 1, will do backstroke. Number 2 is Austin as breaststroke, who enters in the shallow end. You have Aiden, number 3, doing butterfly, and number 4 is Quentin doing freestyle, who enters the shallow end. Remember, I'll show you in the next video what that means to line them up for shallow end versus deep end. Next time you have to worry about shallow and deep end is the very end for the last relay for 7/8s and 9/10s only. That's the freestyle relay. They all swim freestyle. Those are your relay events. Next are individuals. So individual events will have 1 swimmer per lane. Let's look at event number 16 that has 2 heats for our Shakerag boys. They're swimming the 25-yard freestyle. Heat 1 has a Shakerag swimmer in lane 1, lane 3, lane 5. Heat 2 has 1 in lane 3. Again, next video will show you how to actually line up the swimmers. We're just reading who is swimming what. So you glance over all these things, noticing if there's multiple heats and what lanes our swimmers are swimming in. The last thing to notice, if any swimmers are swimming the 100-yard IM, that's only 7/8s and 9s and 10s. Those swimmers are going to be swimming individually each of the strokes in the order listed in the bottom right: fly, back, breast, and free. For Shakerag, we have in lane 1, Lucas, and lane 3, Eli, and each of those swimmers will be swimming 1 length of the pool, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. All right, there you go. Now on to lining up the swimmers.
Now that you know how to read your bullpen specific age group and gender heat sheet, it's time to line up the swimmers. So about 5-10, you want to start to line up your swimmers for the relays. You need to determine among your workers who is going to line up the shallow end swimmers and who is going to line up and take the deep end swimmers. Let's say I've been assigned or I volunteered to do the shallow end. So I'm only going to look at the swimmers that are highlighted here for this first event, which is our medley relay for the 7/8 boys. You now have your information. You are only going to line up starting with lane 1. The swimmer first is going to be Austin. So I find Austin and I line him up right here. The next swimmer on my highlighted list is Quentin. I find Quentin, I line him up here, and they get squirrely, so you need to make sure that they stay in line. You might even have them put their hand on the person's shoulder in front of them. You could even have them hold hands just to keep them good. So that's my lane number 1. Lane number 3, behind them, I'm gonna line up Lucas because he's next on my highlighted list. And I'm going to take my last one, which is Elijah, and put him back here. Okay, the other parent has already lined up their lovely swimmers, which are gonna be Matthew, Aiden, James, and Noah. Okay, so you have them all lined up ready to go. Remember, I'm the shallow end person, so I'm gonna walk my kiddos in order and go to the shallow end, which is gonna be on that side. And the other bullpen worker is gonna walk their deep end to the swim blocks and line them up in the correct order behind their blocks. So you're imagining with me that I've got my swimmers lined up. They're gonna walk behind me. We're gonna walk whatever direction it is to enter to the pool, okay? And then once I get to lane 1, that's my first group of swimmers. I'm going to put Austin and Quentin in that order and put Lucas in front of Elijah, and you stay with your swimmers, okay? So I've got my 2 lanes. Now what happens is when the first swimmer goes, and just bear with me, but this does help with the visual. Let's say we're only looking at lane 1. Matthew jumps in the water and he swims backstroke. Touches the wall. Austin is going to go and he's gonna swim breaststroke. He touches the wall, and Aiden jumps in and swims fly. He touches the wall, and then Quentin is our last swimmer and he's doing freestyle. He touches the wall and he is done. So when they are done, you are going to be taking different swimmers back to the bullpens. It's not the ones that you started with. Once you get those kids all lined up, all 4 of these are gonna be mine, we're gonna walk back to the bullpen to settle back in and then get ready for the next events. Congrats, you just finished your first relay as a bullpen worker. If you're 6 and under, that's the only relay you've got. If you're 7, 8, 9, 10, you have 1 more relay at the very end, but by now you know how to do it, so it'll be all good. Moving on to the individual events, let's say 7-8 boys, you're doing event number 16, and you notice right away there's 2 heats. Anytime there's multiple heats, you need a bullpen worker for each of those heats. Also talk to the other bullpen workers and determine who's doing what events and what heats. All right, let's say I am going to do heat 1 only of event number 16, and another bullpen worker is going to do heat 2. So I'm going to take my kiddos about 5 to 7 events before their event 16. So when I'm listening for event 9, that's when I'm going to line them up. Okay, Austin, we've got Austin. He's my lane 1 in heat 1. Then I've got Lucas. He's my lane 3 in heat 1. And then Noah is my last one. I get them all lined up. We walk onto the deck, and I take Austin to lane 1, take Lucas to lane 3, and Noah to lane 5. Just be aware of what lane is where, and then make it your most efficient time. Once you get your swimmers lined up, if it says 25s, you are going to then go over to the other side to greet them in the shallow end. So this event number 16 is the 25-yard freestyle, so they're all going to swim over here. You're going to be at the shallow end by the time they're done to retrieve your swimmers and take them back to the bullpens. If they are swimming the 50-yard freestyle, you stay put here because they're going to swim down and back. If they're in the 100 IM, you stay put on the deep end because they're going to go 4 lengths of the pool and end at the deep end. There you go, individual events. At the end of the meet, you just need to return your apron if you have one and the heat sheet. Please don't take these home because they already have the labels attached to them. If the bullpen coordinator is not available, we usually have a big tub here. You can just put them in here. Or at home meets, we do have the fence that we hang up the bullpen aprons. And if there's no tub available, please just roll this up and put it in the apron pocket and hang that up onto the fence. And there you go. Thanks so much. Have a great, wonderful season.